A lot of us, well, you and I know this because we're car enthusiasts, but a lot of people out there probably do not realize that Subaru is the #1 provider of sports cars with manual transmissions in Canada for certain, and in the US as well. Hey, never really crossed your mind, eh? You're always thinking Mustang is the best-selling sports car. Well, it was, until last year when this one took over. Yeah, the WRX in Canada is the best-selling performance sports car, and with reason, because it offers value. It's inexpensive for the amount of performance you get out of this car. And I've said this in the past before, just under $33,000. And you get, in my opinion, Mustang GT matching thrills for a lot less money. The purpose of this event right now, as the weather lets up, but you'll see later on when I'm on the road, it's not quite as nice as this. The purpose of this event is to just rediscover, reconnect with what are in fact two of my absolute favorite driving cars in the world. And there's something very important that has to be pointed out right now, other than the fact that Subaru is the #1 provider of sports cars with manual transmissions in Canada, is that very soon they will be just about the only ones, along with Toyota. What is this world coming to? Think about it. No more manual transmissions in GTIs and Golf Rs. So that leaves what? The Honda Civic Type R, if you can find one. And then the GR86, the GR Corolla, and the GR86, did I say that? Supra, right? I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. And these two. And yeah, the idea behind this event is that, well, these are two new trims, which is the BRZ TS and the WRX RS. So what we're gonna do, hopefully the weather holds out a little bit, and we're gonna do very quick rock arounds of both of these cars. But in short, they are unbelievable, both of them. But that's the one I would take home. Okay, and yeah, by the way, you know, the Camaro's dead too. Huh? So the Americans are essentially out, and well, the Charger is gone too. So more power to the WRX and to Subaru for delivering these cars yet still. So pricing in Canada for the 24 WRX starts at $33,695. Okay, so I was off by $700 when I said the pricing before, but this is the RS, as I mentioned. The specific details to it are these 19-inch wheels, the Brembo brakes, which I got to sample a little earlier. Other details you're looking at, I'll show them to you a little bit later as well when I'll be driving. The Recaro seats, which are incredible, and probably one of my favorite aspects. Yeah, that thing is gone too. So pricing for this car is exactly $41,895. It positions it on par with the Sport Tech, which is the most expensive version of the WRX with the manual transmission. And then the top model is the GT, which has an adjustable suspension for some reason you don't get in this, but whatever, I won't complain, and it's a lot more expensive, $44,895. The bottom line is this WRX is the best WRX, probably not the prettiest. I'm still very much into the bug eye. I'm old school, what can I tell you? But it's a blast. So we're gonna go for a drive with one very shortly, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on very soon. But before we do that, we're going to talk about the BRZ TS. So pricing starts at $31,895. And as the saying goes, this is the least expensive, best way to have all the fun in the world legally with your clothes on. That was a lot of words. The TS, I'll tell you a little bit more about the details of the car once we get behind the wheel. But speaking of wheels and the brakes, those are different unique colors to this car with the Brembo brakes up front. You have the badging right there. Do you know what that stands for? I'll tell you a little bit later. And the TS stands at the next to near top trim in the BRZ lineup at $36,295. All models now, for both cars actually, are equipped with EyeSight, which I guess I have to mention it because that's kind of my job, but I couldn't care less about. But it actually works with the manual transmission. I'm sorry, it's just the way I feel. And the only automatic version of this car now is the top trim Sport Tech, which is $36,695. These two cars, for the pricing, the equipment, the styling and the pure, unadulterated driving enjoyment, very, very difficult to beat. I guess I can show you. This is a little bit all over the place, but I'm afraid that it's going to start raining again. These accents are unique to the TS as well, and the seats and the stitching and all that. And you have, oh, I might as well show you, the STI start button down there. Anyhow, enough of that. I'll explain to you the driving thing right away. So here we go. All right, so I drove both the BRZ and the WRX RS on the track this morning, and I didn't shoot anything because weather conditions, although it was a little bit drier than this, but I haven't driven Shannonville in over 15 years, so the track has completely disappeared from my memory. So I didn't shoot it. I didn't want to be, that's going to happen a lot. I don't want to be the guy that, you know, returns one of the cars with the shiny side down. But the WRX RS, what Subaru has done is effectively tune it for tuners. Or not tuners, but people that really want
in 2 kilometers, turn right on Shannonville Road.
The ones that want to bridge the gap between the WRX and the STI driving experience. That explains why this car has, well, the STI's Brembo brakes. 6-piston up front, 2-piston in the rear. And to be quite honest, just to let you know, I mean, the chassis has been retuned also to work with the 19-inch wheels and the extra weight from the wheels, from the 19-inch tires, from the brakes and all that. So it's a little bit stiffer. Now, I'm out in the country. The roads are not terrible, but they're not great. But this is one hell of a lot sharper than the standard WRX. Most who will go for the RS will have no issue whatsoever with this, but on the track, I don't know that the extra, oh my goodness, the extra chassis tune is absolutely necessary. Steering also has been retuned, but
in 800 meters, turn right on Shannonville Road.
It's, again, the difference is negligible if you're used to driving your Rex the way you've always had. The big difference, though, is unquestionably the Brembo brakes. I mean, I was able to go in harder, deeper, faster into the corners than I probably would have had in the other car. That's a lot of range.
Turn right on
So what am I trying to say? I mean, the WRX RS is exactly what it needs to be. It still has a 2.4 turbo, 4-cylinder, flat 4-cylinder engine, manual 6-speed transmission only. On this car, thankfully, no sunroof, and it's fantastic repair seats. Wow, this is horrible. It's an exceptional automobile, but if you're not going to track it, I think a regular Rex for about $33,000 will deliver 99% of the thrills that this car does. I mean, and I have to say, before I jump into the BRZ again, this car on Shannonville Motorsport track feels like I'm pushing a bus compared to the BRZ, which is just up ahead, which is scalpel sharp, incredibly cooperative in absolutely every respect. So yeah, love this car still. It's still an absolute bargain. You're gonna just shy of $42,000 if you want to get this. But the basic Rex is still the way to go as far as I'm concerned. This is my happy place. As you know, I just got out of the WRX and then jumped into the BRZ, and look, we all know and appreciate that the WRX is an exceptional automobile. Value-packed, fast, 4-season, you know, monster killer. But if you want a track-focused automobile, or you want just something that's entirely always pleasant and agreeable, holy crap, nothing beats the BRZ. Look, around the track Shannonville, again, no running footage because shiny side up. But this thing is so well adapted to track use. The still naturally aspirated 2.4 liter engine, you know, 228 horsepower, and the extra revs over the turbocharged 2.4 what a blessing those revs are, and the sounds and the instant throttle response. Now, the TS itself, tuned by STI, if you need to know, has received a few upgrades as well, though maybe not as considerable as on the WRX. Aesthetically, you know, different paint colors on the wheels and on the body, and the badging, but brake upgrades, 4-piston front Brembo calipers, 2 in the back, so they kind of helped me push this thing a little bit harder than I probably should have, but I didn't break anything. That's what matters the most. The other big changes, like the WRX, but not as extensively as the WRX, this thing has a revised chassis. The front dampers, I have to check my notes because I can never remember. Hitachi Astemo mechanical dampers. So up front what they have is dual valve system. So under low frequencies, only one valve opens up, so the ride remains normal, you know, like firm enough. But over high frequencies, a second valve opens up, so it actually it's more compliant, which is something you probably don't expect me to say, but it's something you want on the track. Because no track surface is perfect, and I do so love a little bit of yeehaw, I don't know, yaw. I like body movement, I love roll. It's part of that sense of speed that has kind of been removed from the WRX, which is why the base WRX is still the better buy. But look, it's not fair to compare the BRZ to the WRX, but this is such a much better car to drive. Everything feels tighter, so much tighter. The shifter, the throttle response, even the brake pedal feel, and steering. My Lord, is steering uncannily. This car becomes part of your soul. It is connected to you. Till death do you part. Or should you flip it? Well, I guess that's death till you do your part. It's really not, it's no surprise why Subaru has, you know, is the sports car selling leader in Canada and pretty much North America. Because just these two cars alone cover such a wide gambit of potential wants and needs for enthusiasts, you know, whether you have a family or whether, you know, you're on your own, or it's, wow. The heel toe in both cars is just sublime. Oh, wow. The only thing this car needs, the standard tires are PS4s, I think, Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, which are great tires, absolutely, but something a little bit more aggressive. I think I could probably create an even bigger gap. 5 seconds between the WRX and this was 5 seconds faster. At least with my ham-fisted butt behind the wheel on a track at Shannonville. But what a car. What a dream of an automobile. And that's it.